All right, so I'm going to be talking to you guys about why startups fail to get users and product demand. So for me, I built 8 startups and they all failed. I probably got in total about 20 user signups from all 8 of the startups. And I'm going to show you guys my mistakes that I made throughout my journey and what you can do to build a successful startup. For me, I built a startup that got 30K in revenue in 5 months, and it's still growing. So let me show you guys what most people do. So when most people build a startup, they start off with a random idea that they think is cool and not what other people actually want. That's a huge mistake. They build in isolation, so they don't want to build in public. They don't want to show off their journey. Building new features, talking about it in different platforms like Twitter, LinkedIn, Reddit, TikTok, Instagram, really any platform. They pretty much, code for months and months, making sure, they have a dark theme and they do every feature correct, which is a huge mistake. And they don't really outreach to, users that might be interested into the product. They don't, ask for feedback or anything like that. They just keep grinding in their room 24/7 to get this thing done and making sure it's perfect. They pretty much guess the problem that they're solving. They think that, they're building something that actually solves, a specific problem for someone, but they don't actually know if it is an actual problem in their, ICP that they're targeting, and they launch in silence. When you basically connect your application, you launch it to the world, you add that product to the domain, it doesn't mean that, everyone's going to see 100 million people are going to just go onto your site like that. And that's pretty much how most people build startups nowadays. You got to stop guessing and you got to start listening. And this is how actual startups are being built. They basically go through real user complaints, like what users hate about, existing software, or, what people are asking to be built on, discussions on Twitter or Reddit. A lot of people, they want, things to be built that solves their issues, but they don't actually have experience on how to build that thing. So that's where you come in and you build it for them and you sell it to them. So you look at, public demand on Reddit. You ask questions like, is this going to be, something useful to you? And yeah, so you pretty much build the only, feature that you want to target. So let's say if I have a specific problem that I want to solve, I'm just going to create one feature that fixes this issue and launch it as fast as I can. Basically, this is called launching an MVP, a minimal viable, product. And basically, you launch it as fast as you can and you start marketing it as soon as possible, getting feedback and, really trying to figure out if this problem is worth solving and selling to other people. So I would basically go to, 10 users that might be interested into the product, DM them, give it to them for completely free. And even if the product sucks, it doesn't have a dark theme or whatever, the features are buggy, at least it kind of works for them to tell you, hey, you should fix this, you should add this before actually launching it to, the public. And then you just keep iterating it through and keep posting about it on Twitter, on Reddit. And you pretty much launch where users, are built from demand. Now, how do you find these real problems? Now, a lot of people struggle with this. They don't know how to actually find, what users are, looking for. They don't know where to look. All right, so I found this guy talking about issues in, the r/consulting niche, about him having to do all of the work at his consulting firm. And basically what this AI told me was he's pretty much responsible for everything from beginning to end, marketing, sales pitches, proposals, admin paperwork, and so on. And he basically sounds like he is doing the entire setup and running his own firm. And basically this problem could be easily fixed with a software that a user can build. And basically the person who's building the software, so it gives you a new, SaaS or software as a service idea to basically unify all the sales, project management, delivery, administrative workflows, basically into a one single platform. And so basically a user can create this new idea that this AI gave me and implement it. And you already know that this is a idea that is in demand. So what you would do is, you would go through different posts. So let's say if I want to go to a different niche. So let's say if I want to go to accounting, I'm going to click on this, link to this Reddit post, and I'm going to see that this guy is complaining about some sort of issue in the accounting niche. You can see all of the supporting quotes like, we're a nonprofit with limited staff. He's unsure of the best way to, get prepared without a finance team. So you can pretty much basically build a SaaS that is an audit preparation SaaS tailored for small nonprofits. And basically this, you can go through all of these Reddit posts and find what users hate about their tasks, their tedious tasks and whatever, and basically build a solution to them that already has user demand. So next up, what you can do is you can build your MVP fast with a platform called Lovable, and basically take that core, solution that we found, and build an MVP. You don't need any experience in programming. You could pretty much vibe code this entire step for an MVP. So let me show you how you can do it. So I'm going to take the solution from what we had before of the consultant guy. We're going to take this and we're going to paste it in straight to Lovable, and we're going to click enter. Now what Lovable is going to do is it's going to create an entire MVP, working MVP for me entirely for free, and it's going to go through that idea and basically plan out all the features, direction, and everything else. So as you can see, it's basically configuring the settings and everything, building the product out, and I will come back to this when the product, is finished. So once Lovable creates the actual product, you have to ship the working product. So as I said, go onto Twitter, go onto Reddit, post about your product, get it out to the world. Don't start with SEO right now. Do SEO in parallel so you can get fast feedback through, people that are actually active. So let's say if I'm on Twitter, I'm going to post about it. I'm going to ask for feedback every day, post on building public communities, and so on. And I'm pretty much going to go post on Reddit. I'm going to post on LinkedIn and get that user feedback and start iterating it through, make the product better, and so on, and see if this product is actually something that people would use. Next step, go on to Product Hunt for, early users. This can give you a huge boost. So as you can see, I'm on Product Hunt right now, and I'm going to search top products launching today. You can see that there are a bunch of, products that people have launched, 540 upvotes. I have actually landed first place on Product Hunt before. I think it's fairly straightforward to do if you have a, good eye-catching icon or logo, a good idea that people would actually want. So you have already figured this step out in, the previous step on trying to find if this product has user demand or not. And you would pretty much just post it on Product Hunt by clicking this submit button right here and just click on launch a product. I'm going to go through my products and click on this one right here. I got 673 people following it, and on my first launch I got first place with around 580 upvotes, and this probably got me around 3,000 signups, which was insane. This got me a bunch of, new users, and I knew that this had product demand or, product market fit. So as you can see, in around 2 minutes, Lovable just created me a nice looking MVP. Of course, I would need to change some of the, UI up a tiny bit to my liking, maybe change up the theme. But right now, it looks really good. I just one-shotted this prompt, and as you can see, the recent projects. So this is pretty much, our product right here. It's a scaffold, so you would just go to Lovable and ask it to make all of this work, make this new project icon work, make a profile section work, the search section work, add a database. Basically, you need no experience whatsoever, and you would just you would just build it. And once you're done building it, all you would need to do is publish it. So let's say if I want to add a quick subdomain. So as you can see, I just published my product on Lovable. It looks actually surprisingly really good for one prompt, and this could be my MVP. Of course, I would need to make all these buttons and the search functionality work in a few more prompts, but right after that, your MVP is done and it's ready to get sending. So that is pretty much a step-by-step tutorial on actually how to get actual users from finding an idea to launching. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Good luck on building. I'm going to be making more tutorials on the way on specifically each step, marketing, building the product, and so on. Anyways, peace out.